Hey, welcome back to the America's Home Experts podcast. I'm Steve, and as always, I'm joined by John. And today we're talking to, what's up, Sean? We're talking to Ted from T&M Roofing, based in Detroit, Michigan, and he gives us all kinds of information about what to look for when you're shopping for a new roof, or if you don't know if it's damaged or not, or all the great information that a homeowner could need when sorting through the stressful process of deciding if you need a new roof or not. So without further ado, here's Ted.
So Ted is with T&M Roofing, and how did you get starting in the roofing business?
I was flipping homes back in the early 2000s and late 90s, and I was looking for a roofer. So I was working in the factory, and I was, I could do all the interior work, and never done a roof before. So I was telling my buddy at the job, at the plant, and he was like, I know a roofer, because, I was getting all these high estimates. I mean, I was like, wow, roofs cost that much, these high estimates. So he said, I know a roofer. Basically, he got his friend, the roofer. His name was Jeff. We did our first roof at my rental property, basically. That's how I started roofing. So then people would come up to me and ask me to do their roof. And I started like a weekend warrior. Like when I wasn't in the plant, we'd do roofs. And that's how I started.
So you were flipping homes, rehabbing them, needed a roofer, realized that you had the talent to do it. And then Jeff was already a roofer, so he kind of took you under his wing?
Yeah, he took me under his wing. He worked for another roofing company, but, he needed side work. So they usually work Monday through Friday. So he would work with me on the weekends, and he showed me how to roof, and it went from there. It went pretty fast from there, too. Started off with one roofing gun, one air compressor, one hose, a small trailer. And, and grew it since then. So I guess I've been roofing since 2000. I made my company legit in 2007. And it's been moving ever since, So my whole motto about roofing was, best price in town. That was my little slogan, best price in town, because I already had a regular job. It was more or less a weekend type deal where everybody was just make a couple extra dollars to help out the home, everybody that was involved with me. So, and that's how I started. And I've been trying to keep that motto ever since. We have a lot of roofing companies out here that, to me, a lot of the bigger roofing companies take advantage of people. And people don't know. People don't know how much roofing really is, what it takes. And that's why I hope this podcast will help people understand roofing better. And then they can pick a qualified roofer to do their homes at a fair price, at definitely a fair price. So, and nobody should go broke getting a roof put on their house. Even though it's very expensive, and it's really one of the most important things to have in home improvement is your roof. But once you get it done, if it's done correctly, it definitely should last anywhere from 25 to 30 years.
How long should a roof actually last here in Michigan? I mean, we were negative 20, just a few weeks ago. And in the summer, we can get up to 110 sometimes on the worst of worst days. And on a roof, I'm sure it gets even hotter. How long are these roofs going to last?
One of my early roofs, my own personal home, I changed it last year. I did it in 2003, and it wasn't leaking. I used on Corning shingles, if I'm allowed to use a brand on the show, but that was my personal.
Whatever you'd like.
Okay, that was my, that shingle. That's the shingle I wanted to use to put on my home back then. And it lasted. It lasted over 20 plus years, and with no problems. And it would have lasted even longer. The only reason I changed it last year was because have a big oak tree in front of my house. So over time, and I picked a light color. So over time, with the leaves and stuff, the roof just came a little bit dirty. So it just looked bad. It didn't need to be changed. I have a wife that I've been married to for 32 years. So she just wanted a better looking roof. So, but this time I was smart. I didn't go with a light color shingle. I went with a darker color shingle because we still got the big tree and she won't let me cut down the tree. So,
So, so the darker shingles are going to last a little bit longer.
Really,
as far as aesthetically though.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
aesthetics.
right. Really lighter colors, reflect the sun more. But at the same time, here in Michigan, my thought is, well, we live in Michigan, so we have a longer winter. Let's absorb all the light we can for the winter to keep your house a little bit warmer. So, everybody had their own opinion about it. But as far as the industry go, they say lighter colors are better for roofing. Your grays, your tan colors and things of that sort.
What's going to affect the lifespan of your shingles?
The most to me, airflow. It's really about airflow and proper installation. That's what's going to affect. And trees will affect it. Stuff falling from the different trees, and you might get, depending on the shingle, a lot of algae growth and things of that sort happens, over time, and that will hurt the lifespan of your roof. But airflow is really like one of the most important things, because if you don't have the right airflow coming through, then therefore the shingle kind of like sits up there and cook and bake and get brittle. We here in Michigan go through a lot of expanding and contracting with the high temperatures, maybe in the summertime if we have a rough summer, and the low temperatures in the winter. So airflow to me is the most important thing.
And then, like, ice damming plays a part in that too. Like if you don't have good airflow, then you can get ice damming.
Yeah.
And that can affect your shingles too, correct?
Yes, sir. You're very much correct. And with ice damming too, that goes along with gutters. And if the gutter is placed properly to allow some of that water to flow in the wintertime, or even with rainwater. If you got a bunch of leaves and stuff in your gutters and it keeps bagging up, and and when you do have an ice dam, and you definitely want to use a good ice shield too when you do get a good roof put on. It is a lot of generic ice shields out here that is nothing. So, every aspect of the roof, your ice shield, your felt paper, all that is very important. And drip edge, I like to use the big drip edge, 1.5 inches. Some people, when they do a roof, they use the small stuff. They use the generic type ice guard, generic paper, because roof is expensive, and they just try to do as cheap as possible to, get the job done and move on, because they really don't give a very good workmanship warranty. A lot of people have the bigger companies say, oh yeah, 50 years, no leaks and all of that. Really read the fine print of that when you go to them big companies that's telling you, that give you a 50-year no leak guarantee. I do all kind of roofing. I do now I do commercial roofing. I definitely do shingles. I have done small metal roofs. If you want your roof to really last, in my opinion, 50 years or plus, it's either you go on with slate or metal. Truthfully, that's just my personal opinion. That costs a lot more. But if you go with a nice 40-year shingle or something to that sort, a good brand name shingle, then your roof will last a long time. I put a 40-year shingle on my home last year. This last time I used designer shingle that is made by GAF, and it's a good shingle. So I'm 60 years old, coming up here shortly. So that's the last roof I put on that house of mine. Unless I become 100 and some years old, if God willing, and then maybe I have to change.
Getting back to the ice dams, are you putting in Michigan? Are you putting any roof heaters on or anything like that?
I will, but I don't unless the customer asks, and I don't. I think if your roof is put on properly, you don't need that. Yeah. I know a lot of people have them heater coils add on to the eaves of their roofs, and I look at them and I just ask the customer if I do their roof, you want me to put this back on? And if they ask my opinion, I say, I don't think you need it because I put on your roof properly. Because now we have different stuff. You have to, like I say, airflow. You have smart vents now that you can install if you don't have a big enough eave to put in soffit vents, where you have a ridge vent so that can breathe like that. It's things of that sort that you need to install now. It's no reason why a roof cannot have good airflow. They make even drip edge, vented drip edge, where you can get airflow from that, where you can get good airflow. So I hate to keep harping on airflow, but that is like one of the biggest my pet peeves. Yeah, it's important. It's one of my pet peeves.
You're the expert. If that's what you're saying, then that's gospel, man. We trust that, and when you're not the only roofer we talk to, and a lot of them talk about it all the time. We had a roofer who spoke about the fact that they didn't have soffits in the attic. The customer they were dealing with, and the bathroom vent wasn't vented out because it had fallen off, so it was just pumping
into the attic. Yeah. Seeing that a lot.
You got it. Airflow. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
What are the early warning signs homeowners should be watching for when it comes to replacing their roof?
Well, for one, if your roof's looking brittle, or if a wind comes, you start seeing loose shingles on the ground. Your roof start cracking. It's obvious. If you clean your gutters out, seeing a lot of granules inside your gutters, stuff like that. If you see a leak, if you start seeing leaks in the ceiling, that's the biggest indicator right there. You start seeing water stains in your ceiling. That's the first and foremost. I mean, it's definitely time to get it done. Peeling paint sometimes. Peeling paint, on a ceiling is an indicator. It might be bad paint too, but that's an indicator. You see peeling paint on the ceiling sometime. You're getting dampness in the attic.
It's worth investigating at that point, for sure.
Yeah, it's worth investigating. Correct.
What do you see you're going to a lot of these inspections. A lot of homeowners are calling you. What is the biggest mistake, homeowners are making with their roof before they give you a call?
That's a good question.
We don't think of it. As a homeowner, like it looks beautiful on the outside, and I don't think of my roof that much. It's above me. I don't see leaks. So what are, love to hear what you're seeing that people need to look out for even more so.
What to look out for as a homeowner? Yeah, that is a very good question. I say what to look out for is some of the things I just said. If you got shingles coming off your roof, if you see like shingles like lifted up in the air, or you start finding nails, like nails start coming out. You might find nails in your gutters, things of that sort. For people that's just novice, and especially ladies, I come across a lot of the ladies that, have a lot of questions. And, ladies are one that some roofers try to take advantage of because it's not a man in the home. And I really try to look out for the older ladies because I have an older mom. And so I definitely try to help them type of people out. My mom is 95. So, thank God she's still here and she's still all the way mentally functional and everything like that. So the older ladies, I'll always try to look out for. The grandmas, basically. Yeah.
That's all. That's great. When it comes to storms, this is, some roofers are out there saying, "Oh man, I can't wait for that storm to come through."
Okay.
But when they do, what, as a homeowner, what do I want to do first? Like I go outside and we just had, a major hailstorm or major windstorm. What are you advising these people to do? Because obviously we don't want them getting on the roof.
Correct.
What are you telling them they should do? Are they going to, maybe a tree fell near it? Maybe they're worried about damage. Should they call you? Should they call insurance? Should they do it themselves? Like, what's the first step?
Well, when it comes to storms and storm damage, I used to be a subcontractor for a big storm damage company, and now because of that, insurance companies now are very proactive because they've been hit with a lot of new roofs because of storm damage. I would say when now it's such a $1 billion industry, if you think your roof's been damaged by a storm, just don't go with the first person come knocking at your door. Do some research yourself as a homeowner and maybe call 3 different companies that have 3 different opinions, and go with the person you feel you trust the most and have the most knowledge about storm damage, and see can they help you through that process. Just try to get like 3 estimates and just feel comfortable with a person. And if you dealing with a good company and you do have real hail damage up there, get with the adjuster, get with the adjuster from the insurance company, and let them 2 meet, talk, and just go from there with it. And try to meet with the adjuster when they come. And usually it's a third party that insurance companies send out there. And if the ones that I have met, if they have enough damage up there, they will say they need a new roof, the adjuster that comes out. So that's how I deal with it.
Ted, when it comes to repair versus replace, as a homeowner, how do I know? I don't know. What are you would know? What is the right move?
It's a judgment call on the homeowner. I will go by this, because you have homeowners that's a little bit too much on the other side of repairs. They think they can repair a roof like 15 times. I mean, once you get to that much, once you get more than 1 or 2 repairs, think about a roof. If you have like a bad windstorm, some shingles come off, okay, go ahead and get somebody to replace. And if you had your roof done, at least have somebody leave 1 bundle of shingles so they can at least have the exact same color, because shingles do discontinue. So you can at least have 1 bundle to work with if you do have a few shingles that have blown off on bad storm or something like that. So 1 or 2 repairs I will allow. There has to be a good repair guy to like repair valleys when they go out. If you had a roofer that didn't put ice guard in the valleys, really you're supposed to I put valley roll and ice guard in my valleys. If you have a person that don't do their valleys up to standard like that, then if you have a valley leak or something, or a nail, somebody shot maybe 1 nail off or something and you got a leak in the valley, 1 or 2 repairs. And then after that, you should have a couple of people come out, give you an estimate for a roof. That's how I feel about repairs.
What really affects the cost of a new roof? Is there anything that stands out as like, this is really where that expense comes from?
The cost comes from the size, basically the pitch. People don't realize, the steeper your roof is and the bigger it is, it's going to cost more. Definitely shingles matter. I don't want to bash certain shingles. Y'all said I can, but only one company I would bash. As far as pricing, yeah, I would just say it matters. If you go with like Landmark Pros, they're more on the higher end shingle. If you go with a HDZ, Timberline, a little higher, Oakwoods, Durations, or Flex, them shingles are higher shingles. They are good shingles, but they are more expensive.
You're talking about lifetime. You're talking about warranties. Are lifetime warranties actually lifetime?
No. I'm honest, man. So I hope you don't have me in your show. I'm not going to be honest about it. It's all in the paperwork. It's really all in the paperwork. I am a certified roofer with Owens Corning, GAF, and TAMCO. just to be fair about it, I love Landmark Pro shingles. Only reason I didn't become certified with them because they want you to pay to be certified with them, and I'm just don't want to be paying to be certified to sell your shingles or put your shingles on. When people ask me, and I have had customers ask me to put on Landmark Pro, I do it all the time, and I think they are an excellent shingle. I like those shingles. They are a very good, thick, very good shingle. I forgot the question now, where I was heading to with this.
It's lifetime.
That's all right.
Lifetime. Yeah, Lifetime.
Covered it. Yeah.
So Lifetime. Yeah, Lifetime is, they want to say 50 years, and that's covered by the shingle maker. I mean, just the truth be told, the manufacturers, if you certify with them and your workmanship warranty goes out, and then you call the shingle company and they come out and send somebody out and they look at the roof and you have a problem after 35 years, all they're going to do is look at it. They're usually going to try to find something that the installer did to not cover the roof. And if they do cover the roof, they're just going to prorate it and give you a little bitty check towards your problem. That's the real of it all, just to be honest with you. To answer the question.
Yeah. Gotcha. How important is installation compared to the material itself? You've talked about some really good shingles and some really not so great shingles. Can you get away, like if you have some superior workmanship, can you get into a lesser shingle, or does it matter?
No, it's 50-50 in my book. I mean, the workmanship has to be on point, first of all. Even if you're using IKOs, even you using landmarks and you are a terrible installer, that roof will leak. I mean, it will leak. I don't care. You use the best money materials, that roof will leak. So workmanship is, yes, first and foremost, the most best thing. You putting on your ice guard right. You putting on, the vents on right. You doing your valleys right. You putting all the nails in your cap. You putting on the ridge vent right. You cutting your ridge vent in wrong if you putting the ridge vent in. You don't want to make the hole for the ridge vent too big or too small. So you want to do everything proper.
So you're really tapping into all your years of experience, and this is a skilled trade, and it's not just something anybody should jump up and do.
Oh, correct. It's not. It took me a while, like Jeff, the guy that taught me how to do it. I mean, he stayed with me for 10 years, and then he ended up leaving his boss and working for me full time. And just in fact, Jeff was here at my building the other day. He's definitely retired. He's 69 years old. He'd be 70 in April. And he came up here because his son had some wind damage and his son didn't want to file a claim. So he came up here to my building to get a couple of bundles of shingles to repair his son's roof. He still can get up there and do it, even at 69 years old, but he don't try to make it a habit. He was just helping out his son. So,
wow.
Yeah. So Jeff is still around and still kicking. He still got the, roofer mentality. He's just a big guy now. He's probably about 250 and he only, maybe 5'8", so, he kind of big and roly-poly to be on that roof now, but
Jeff's gonna hear this, Tess.
It's okay. Me and Jeff, hey, I love Jeff. I love Jeff. He was I come from an age. Jeff was he come from an age where it wasn't roofing guns. He was a roofer that could put a nail in between his fingers. It's always been a roofing gun with me. If I didn't have a Hitachi, I don't know what I would have done. I wouldn't have did roofing. I would have did something else like concrete or something. So
yeah. All right, switching gears a little bit. What should homeowners ask before hiring a roofer? Like, what advice would you give to a homeowner that's looking to get a new roof?
Okay, first and foremost, I will ask this. I will ask for a license. I was asked for insurance. I will ask for, you can go to their page, see if they have a website, read their reviews, see how long they've been in business. see if they have a brick and mortar location. I think them things are where you need to start as a homeowner. Yeah, that's where you need it. Yeah, that's where you need to start.
That's everything we preach too. Find out who you're working with, get to know them,
Read their reviews, watch their videos, go to their website. Yeah,
go to their website, read their reviews. I mean, if they have a referral sheet, like I have one, mainly my referral sheet is basically for my commercial work. But I have a referral sheet that, when I send in the big bids, like apartment buildings or doing a flat roof for a corporation, I let people, speak on my behalf. I mean, I will, have some testimonials or whatever, that, some people have gave me on video that I let people watch if they want to watch something like that, so, things of that sort makes a difference. And just fair pricing. I service all the areas, the low end areas as well as the high end areas. I don't judge somebody by their neighborhood. If I go out to West Bloomfield or Farmington Hills and they have this big fancy home, I'm not charging you because I think you got deep pockets. I'm trying to give you a fair price for your roof and trying to give you a quality job because we all have bills to pay. And whatever you do for a living that makes you live in that big home, that's your business. I'm not here to gouge your pocket. I'm just here to give you a fair service for a fair price. And that's really what I believe in. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to blow my own horn, man. I'm trying to do this another 7 years. And, I don't have no sons. I got a daughter and a granddaughter. So neither one of them are interested in roofing. So I don't have nobody to leave this to take it over. So I'm just trying to help all the people that I can once I decide to retire, So that's just how I look about roofing. And I have helped a lot of people. And, when I say I have helped a lot of grandmas, definitely. So, I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, I'm a straight up guy. I'm a veteran and, I serve my country and, hey, I've done things to help people and I just got to feel good about myself when I go, upstairs. I ain't going downstairs. I'm going upstairs. So and that's just being real about it.
All right, Ted, tell our listeners what areas you service and where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you.
Like I said, I service anywhere. My building is located in Detroit, Michigan. We located at 14564 Schaefer, Detroit, 48227. We service 100-mile radius around Detroit. I have roof as far as Saginaw, as far west as good ways west, but a little bit past Ann Arbor, those areas, Belleville, Ypsilanti, all of that. Far south as Dundee, Monroe, roof a lot in Monroe. Far east as Rochester Hills and Mount Clemens and things of that sort. So all the surrounding areas, I will go. We do residential, we do commercial, we do everything what you need done. I mean, we do firework. I mean, we just don't do just roofs. I mean, we build trusses. I have took a whole roof off of a house and put it all back on. I mean, we can build trusses from scratch and all of that. I mean, I'm just not your regular roofing company. I mean, we do fire damage jobs. We do it all when it comes to roofing.
Not just about shingles.
No.
It's like shingles. You're handling it all, Ted.
Yeah. We try. I got a good crew. And they do excellent work. They take pride in their work, and that's what's important. So that we all take pride in our work and do a good job and make sure the customer's happy. I don't ask for no upfront money. I want my customer happy at the end of the day. pay me at the end of the day. Usually my job's is one day. So I want the customer to look at everything and let my work speak for itself. I mean, if they're not happy at the end of the day, I'm going to make them happy before they pay me. And that's just honest, so I don't collect no money beforehand. Some roofers do. I don't. I have financing available for those that need it. I can't help you on your credit score. You have to have that part together. But
Yeah, that's on you.
But as far as everything else, I try to help people as much as I can. So that's what T&M is about.
And if you want to get a hold of T&M, you can go to tmroofingllc.com or call or text Ted at 313-600-4538.
Thank you.
Ted, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Steve and I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Y'all great guys. If y'all do other subjects, let me know so I can listen in, All right. And I like to listen to some other roofers too. But it's just not my company out here. I think it's other smaller companies that do great work out there. Don't just stick with the big names you hear about. And just try to deal with, smaller companies. You don't have to be afraid of all small companies. Just do your homework. That's why I tell people, just do your homework.
Wow. Steve, that was awesome. Ted is so full of insight and information for homeowners who have a lot of questions about roofing, man.
That's very true. Yeah, he is a wealth of knowledge. I really like his attitude and how he helps his community. And just a great guy.
Homeowner.
Yeah, just a great guy.
He's looking out for the homeowner. I love it.
Yep.
All right, people, roofing isn't something you think about every day until you have to. By then, it's usually urgent. It means, let's go. The roof's fallen. The roof is on fire. What? The roof? The roof.
No.
The roof is on fire.
No, it's not. No, we're not letting the MFer burn.
What we hope you take away from this conversation is simple. A roof isn't just shingles. It's protection. It's investment. It's peace of mind. It's a dry home, a sealed home, and looks good on the outside. The right contractor doesn't just replace materials. They protect your home, your family, and your future. If you are in Michigan, you want to learn more about T&M Roofing, we'll link everything in the description. And if you're a homeowner looking for trusted, vetted experts in your area, that's exactly why America's Home Experts exist. We connect you with professionals who do it right. And we will see you on the next episode of America's Home Experts.